to the participants in a web talk program are, please mute when you are not speaking. Kindly keep it mute. So when you want to raise your hand, we will unmute and then kindly speak. Don't disturb the speaker. That's the first request. And whatever you want to ask, use the chat box wisely. Please ask questions. Kindly be patient in asking the questions because the speaker himself will answer at a later time. Most of the time, that will happen. And kindly participate yourself actively, follow, and it will be good. And if when you give the feedback, it will be helping us to improve. Once again, good evening, everyone. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all to this insightful web talk on prevention of cyber crimes, part 1. Before handing over to the mic to the president, I would like to give some more information, and I will request my president to inaugurate this. In today's digital age, where technology plays an essential role in our daily lives, the risk of cyber threats has increased significantly, and it is known most of us are victims also day in and out, or we are going to be victims anytime. So what is important is preventing such crimes, not taking relief action after the crime is done. So cyber crime has evolved into a global challenge, not only in India, world over, and affecting the individuals, businesses, governments, and every person, because nowadays all 24/7 operations happen all over the world using digital as a means. In this session, it aims to raise awareness about the various forms of cyber crimes, their impacts, most importantly, how we safeguard ourselves from falling victim online. This will be in 2 parts. We are honored to have Shri Na Vijayashankar, widely recognized as Naavi. Who doesn't know Naavi? Because he is working in this field from 1995. He is a renowned expert in cyber law, whom I am going to introduce much more detail after our president speaks. Sir, we welcome our today's speaker, and I now request our president, G Swami, the person behind this organization, to speak on the aspirations of this in this venture.
Good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Let me congratulate my team from Samprabha for starting this day. Is a very important day because we are starting a new program called Sambhashane webinar. And today we have a very renowned expert on cyber crime, digital arrest, and thanks to Mr. Kodandaram that he was able to get his consent and request him to be the first guest. The idea behind this weekly webinar is Samprabha should be able to identify very burning topics and spread awareness about various topics to the members and the wider public. That's the reason we have started this new program. And this will be from 7:30 to 8:30 on every Thursday. And varieties of topics will be covered under this program. We have a team led by Mr. Kodandaram, executive member, who will be running this program. Similarly, we are going to have physical programs on various aspects relating to sports, relating to culture and art. We are going for audition and spot the talent. For that purpose, there are various other talented leaders who take up the responsibility and run the show. And also some of the programs for blood donation camp and awareness about organ donation, environment related, varieties of jobs we are going to undertake. So today being a first session for webinar, I don't want to take too much of time. I would like to congratulate everyone involved and thank the guest speaker, I believe next week also there will be part two. We are really grateful to him for accepting our invitation. I wish all the best and take it as the program is inaugurated. We are interested in spreading this message much beyond our own community of CBAC and to the wider public. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you very much, sir, for your blissful words. Now, I would like to introduce my beloved teacher. Why I say is when I went to cyber forensics learning in my national law school, he was my teacher. From there, we started the journey, and even today, I am with him. I am really very, very happy because he is a pioneer in the cyber law and cyber forensics. He is the first of the expert who gave 65B certificate where courts have entertained. And he's a man who started his college, virtual college for the first time in India in 1995 itself. And he's a man who is having virtual arbitration measures done. Not one thing I can say now, he has built a new organization called FDPPI, Federation of Data Protection Professionals of India, where he has come out with Indian standards by bringing all the professionals of India under one table, and he has created a very good organization called FDPPI. He has authored many, many books from the beginning. Some of them are recent one is The Guardians of Privacy. It's a comprehensive handbook on DPDPA Act, which is going to be implemented in the days to come. And for that, he has his own standards made. We need not depend on the international standards. Now, we have DGPSI standards made by him, which is likely to be accepted by Government of India. He is closely working with the Ministry of Electronics for implementation of this. And he has written long back in 1995, 2011 itself. Cyber law for engineers, cyber law for everyone. More of it, kindly visit his websites, http://www.naavi.org+, as well as another one. In this, you can update whatever happening in the cyber field in India. I am not reading any other book except these two websites where he writes on day-to-day interest. And I welcome again everyone and encourage all of you to actively participate. Kindly mute yourself. Don't disturb the sessions in between for whatever may be the reason. Let us work together towards building a safer cyber space. With this, I request my Guru, Shri Naavi, to take up further sessions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kodandaram, and good evening to all of you. I am very privileged to be the first speaker of this particular organization, and I was happy to know about your proposed activities. I wish you all the best in all your future activities. So right now, I will try to share my presentation so that we will start discussing the topic of the day. Okay, let me just okay. I suppose you are able to view the presentation. So today is the first part of this interaction of what you have very interestingly named as Sambhashane with a double E. I don't know why you wanted double E, but okay, but anyway, that's fine. So today we will try to work on understanding cyber crimes. And next week in part 2, we will try to focus a little more on the safety and security or the general aspects of information security. So I suppose most of you are retired from the government service, but at least a few of you may be involved actively in some activities. So next week when we discuss the information security aspects also, we will try to discuss. And There are two specific laws in India which we need to understand. One is the Law of Cyber Crimes, which is the Information Technology Act. We sometimes call it as ITA 2000, not income tax. It is ITA 2000. For a long time, since 2000, there was confusion in the marketplace where people used to think that IT Act means Income Tax Act, whereas it was actually Information Technology Act. The second regulation, which we will be discussing to some extent during the course of our discussion, or maybe next week, is the legislation which has come in India on what we call as privacy, or protecting the privacy of an individual as a constitutional right. That is what we call as DPDPA 2023, which is Digital Personal Data Protection Act. So when we look at cyber crimes, we need to have an idea about both these regulations in the back of our mind. For example, why we need to look at law is that the very definition of something as a crime requires a reference point of a law. What is a crime in law is a contravention of a law, which the law prescribes as an offense for which there could be a penalty and, let us say, imprisonment. There is also another kind of say imposition in law for contravention, which is called the civil liabilities. So crimes means something for which a person can be imprisoned and the government can levy penalty which goes to the government or the court, whereas the civil wrong is something which says that if somebody has contravened the law in a particular manner, the person who contravened the law is required to compensate the victim of such contravention. So these are the two terminologies which we must know as civil liabilities and crimes. So when we talk of something and refer to it as a cyber crime, we need to know that this is an act which is not permitted in law. That is why there is a need for us to remember that we can discuss cybercrime only with reference to a law. Now, if you look at the evolution of technology in our generation, we know that we all started using computers mostly as office assistants. Like when we wanted to actually do some complicated calculations, originally we used to have calculators and scientific calculators, and those of us who were in the scientific field, we started using computers. Then in the administrative side, we started using computers for writing letters because it was very convenient to make corrections. And that is how computers entered our field as a friendly assistant. And we were all very happy to have computers help us improve our productivity. At that time, crimes were limited to viruses, and even the viruses were not malicious. Most of the time it was for fun. Somebody created an I love you virus. It did create damage to the systems, but it was not meant to adversely affect an individual. So those were the days when computers were used for that kind of an activity. Then came, in fact, you can say this viruses, some of the viruses which I mentioned, I love you virus, is from the second generation, which was when internet came into being. See, the advent of internet changed the role of computers from being an assistant for our activities to an information highway and communication device, because we could send and receive emails. At this point of time, crimes have started happening, and it was directed to individuals. And initially, the crimes were surrounding the obscenity aspects, like sending an obscene message or something to a particular person, that was considered as an offense. In fact, the very first case in India where conviction happened was called Suhaskarti case. I had the privilege of assisting the police in that particular case, where a gentleman who had created some obscene message for a lady was given a sentence of 5 years under various sections. This happened in 2004, immediately after the Information Technology Act came in the year 2000. Today, of course, we are in 2025. Many more crimes are happening, and some of them are getting convicted. Some are not being convicted. In fact, as observers of the cybercrime scenario, why we were able to get a conviction in 2004 we easily, but not today, is itself a matter of discussion for most of us. Then, as the internet usage increased, there came the e-commerce. E-commerce, including e-governance, was use of internet for commercial transactions. This introduction of e-commerce brought in commercial interest to internet, and at that time, crimes became more and more financial, in the sense that people started using internet and computers for committing financial frauds, which are today a big part of cyber crimes. Today, we have what we call as artificial intelligence that has brought in much more changes on the nature of cyber crimes, intensity of cyber crimes, and also the sophistication. And the current set of crimes which are really threatening us are the manipulation of the society, including manipulation of data, so that when you search on the Google, you get wrong results. When you use a chat GPT, you don't get the right results, you get false results. That is one aspect of manipulation. And there are also manipulations related to human behavior through computers. And these are what are threatening us in the
person you are speaking with has put your call on hold. Please stay on the line.
ನೀವು ಮಾತನಾಡುತ್ತಿರುವ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ
Hello. Yeah. Now, if you look at cyber crimes, how it is galloping from 2019 to the current state, the number of cases in 2019 registered with the police on an all India basis was around 26,000. Now in 2020, it became 257,000, went to 452,000 in 21. Now we are beyond 1556 in 2023. In the year 2024, for which some statistics was available, in the first 7 months, 11,21,000 cybercrime cases were registered with the National Crime Organization. So this is the number of cases, and of course the amount also has been going up. One estimate is around 12,000 crores being the value of cyber crimes. Actual this thing can be even much more. Now, why this is important for us to remember is that as India is stepping into the digital era, we are, of course, very much plagued by the increase in cyber crimes. And if you actually look at Naavi.org and go back to the years 2014 to 2015, I have frequently written about the risks of digitization, particularly when the Aadhaar enabled payment systems were introduced and so on. And in fact, I had made certain predictions about the elections being manipulated, which have all become true. So the risks of digitization are really hurting us today in the form of cyber crimes and online frauds. But the nature of crimes today are slightly different. If you look at crimes against individuals, some of the worrying cyber crimes are the deep fakes, where celebrities are defamed by false videos. Then there have been cases of fake kidnapping of children and extortion of money from the parents. We will try to expand on this later if you have any questions. Then there phishing and banking frauds are there. Then there are websites like your OLX and other what we call as C2C websites, consumer to consumer websites where frauds happen through impersonation. There are, of course, the lottery frauds. We call them as Nigerian frauds, which have been there even before the computer became a part of our life. From those days when similar frauds used to happen through fax, where somebody would get a fax saying that you have won a lottery or something like that, that a particular fraud has been surviving even today after our own lifetime, about 25, 30 years. Okay. Simultaneously, there are cyber crimes against companies, some of which are called ransomware, where a company is held to ransom and several lakhs of rupees, crores of rupees are being collected from the companies. Fake calls are being made to subordinates in the name of the CEO or somebody requesting for transfer of money. Interception of import and export invoices and requesting for making payments to an account which is not the right account of the official recipient. Those are some of the frauds which the companies are today facing. Then we have got crimes against the nation, some of which we call as cyber terrorism, and then cyber warfare. Cyber terrorism is an act where the public is actually terrorized with the number of crimes which may be happening of a particular type, so that they lose trust in the society, economy, the banks, or something like that. You have seen in many cases, emails are being sent to schools saying that a bomb has been planted in your school or something like that. That terrorizes the parents, creates a fear, and that is cyber terrorism of some kind. Of course, when we say terrorism, we associate terrorism with, say, bombs or death or something like that, but also damage to property. So in digital world, normally the damage to property happens because a website is a property. Damage to individuals may not be very prevalent as of now, but in future there could be cyber terrorist attacks which could affect the medical implants which people may be using. Today there are many medical implants like a pacemaker or people with diabetes. There could be a dispenser of say medicine in the body, and some of these devices may be having an access from an outside device through Wi-Fi. So terrorists can access that and cause problems. There have been instances where terrorists have tried to access the computers of say automated cars and try to crash a car. So terrorism can take many shapes. In fact, in India, we had one electricity grid failure a couple of years back, which is believed to be an act of cyber warfare, actually, because we call that as a warfare because in that case, the attack was suspected to be from a nation state like China. If it is from individual organizations, it will be called terrorism. Otherwise, it will be called warfare. So these are against the nation. And today, we also need to recognize a type of crimes which are against the society, which is creating fake news. poisoning the search engines. What I mean by poisoning the search engines is that we are all dependent on, let's say Google, and if we have some to look for some information, we simply say Google it. When we feel that when we ask the question to the Google, Google will give us the right answer, and many times we take that answer as the correct answer and proceed with certain decisions in our life. But if the Google search engine is poisoned with information in such a manner that you get wrong information, then that is called poisoning of information. This is the information warfare. And with the introduction of new type of software called this Chat GPT, which we call as large language models, in fact, the search engines are becoming less and less important today. The searches and queries are being loaded more onto this LLMs or the Chat GPT type of software. Now, this Chat GPT kind of software actually picks up. If there is any question, you please start typing on the chat box. I will try to answer that. Okay. Then this Chat GPT is a new technology development which actually pulls information from its learning data. When we say poisoning, we are seeing an attempt by people to corrupt the machine learning data. Because of it, the AI in the Chat GPT starts giving out wrong answers. I can give you one example. There was a case in USA where one lawyer had to present a petition. You know that lawyers, when they present a petition, they will try to give citations of earlier court cases. Okay. So this lawyer presented a petition in which he had given some 7, 8 cases. Okay, saying that in such and such a court, this had happened, and that is relevant to my case, something like that. But when the judge actually wanted to refer to those cases, he found out that those cases were not in existence at all. They were all completely fake cases. When this lawyer was asked where from he got this particular case, he said that he had developed the petition using Chat GPT, and Chat GPT had, it is not a question of merely getting a wrong information. See, that is picking up information from a website where there was some wrong information. That also can happen. In this particular case, the Chat GPT had actually imagined certain stories as cases and created the false cases with details of petitioner, respondent, court, number, everything, and made it look as if there were specific like cases. And all of that happened because the Chat GPT system is not perfect. Okay, so today people are using that for committing crimes against the society. So this is how some of the crimes are evolving along with the developments in technology. Now let us come to one of the new kinds of crimes which actually is bothering us very much today, which we call as digital arrest. In fact, one of the very early crimes must be around 2003, 2004, or around that. There was a case of a similar nature where a person who was then living in Dubai was cheated of about 1.9 crores by threatening him that there is a CBI case against him in India, and if he wants to be saved from the case, this fraudster could help him. Okay. In this fraud, what had happened was some person presenting himself as a lady had befriended this Gulf person, and After some time, this lady, virtual lady, had proposed marriage to this particular Muscat man or whatever Gulf man, who had not thought about it or something like that. But and he perhaps was not ready for marriage. He said no. Then this person got a message later on by somebody saying that I am the friend of this girl, and because you refuse to marry her, she has committed suicide. So police in India are trying to search for you and arrest you for abatement of suicide. So that was how the threat was started. And this went on with emails from the Calcutta police and CBI and others. And this person lost about 1.9 crores. And at one point of time, he was so harassed that he felt that it is better I get myself arrested, and he came to India. At that time, he found that there was no case against him. All this was fake, and still he had paid that money. When this case was investigated, it is very important to realize that this fraudster who had posed himself as a girl and then subsequently as a friend of that girl was actually a general manager in Gujarat Ambuja Cements. I don't know whether you believe it or not. He was working in Gujarat Ambuja Cements as general manager, and he had done this impersonation on the internet, leading to this 1.9 crores of financial loss. There was no digital arrest threat. It was just that the police may arrest you when you come to India or something like that. Now, this has now become the digital arrest, and it has become so sophisticated that people today come on the video and say they are representatives of customs or police or CBI, and talk to you and make you believe actually that you might have made a mistake. Okay, they even provide some notarized say documents, as you see on the right side, with the government emblems and other things, make it look very, very authentic. And in fact, nowadays, earlier this used to be done.
Sir, 1 second, sir. Sir, 1 second. They have muted you. Satish, please mute yourself. Sir, please. Satish, mute yourself. And please, sir, speaker is requested to unmute and start the proceedings further. Just 1 second, it has stopped. Sir, you have to unmute yourself. Vijayashankar, sir, you have to unmute. Or our technical team try to unmute him. Satish BP, kindly mute yourself. Satish, mute yourself, sir. Technical team, please unmute Vijayashankar speaker.
Yeah. I have
Yeah.
unmuted now.
Sir, please, only 1 minute was lost.
Yeah, okay. So currently, this digital arrest scam has become very sophisticated, with the video calls being made, as you can see, a person in uniform. Very difficult to recognize that there is any fraud involved. And another important thing which we realize is initially these kind of fraudulent calls, phishing and phishing calls, used to come from Jamtara or some other places in India. But today we have found that people traveling from India in search of jobs, going to places like Vietnam and others, have been kidnapped and taken to Cambodia, that has become a hotbed of this crime. They are being enslaved. That is, the people who are in search of job have been resorted to cyber slavery, and those people are confined, and then they are asked to make the calls to Indians to cheat them and take them to this digital arrest scam. And money demanded is transferred. Sometimes the account to which the money is transferred is shown as the RBI account, so that people are told that you transfer this as a deposit, it will be there with RBI until things are sorted out, then you will get it back. Now, I want to actually give you the current state of how alarming it is. Okay. Now, recently the government has stated that they have blocked about 83,000 WhatsApp accounts, 3,900 Skype IDs. They were all linked to digital arrest scams, and more than 7.8 lakh SIM cards were blocked. 2 lakh mobile phones were deactivated. This indicates the extent of this crime which is happening through the false calls. And as far as how this digital arrest happens, I will just share with you one news report which had come recently, which tries to explain what is a digital arrest. It runs for about 1.5 minutes, after which I will continue. Please let me know if you don't hear the
we live in a digital era. Everything that we do is on the internet. It opens a whole new world of opportunity, but also vulnerability. The internet is a double-edged sword. It empowers us. It also endangers us. Let me tell you about the latest case that has come from Mumbai, India's financial capital. This case involves a 77-year-old woman. Over a month ago, she got a phone call about a parcel that she sent to Taiwan. The caller said this parcel contained MDMA drugs. The woman denied any of this. She said she never sent a parcel to Taiwan. At this point, the call was transferred to a police officer, a man who said that he was a police officer. He said her Aadhaar card was connected to this parcel, and that made her the main suspect. So the woman panicked. She asked for help. They told her to download Skype on her laptop. And they asked to be on call, asked her to be on the call 24/7. Then 2 other men, who also claimed to be police officer, asked for her bank details. They told her to transfer money, 15 lakh rupees to 6 different bank accounts. They said she should transfer this money, 15 lakh rupees, and she was told that the money would be returned later. And it was. The 15 lakh rupees was returned. But the story did not end there. The woman was placed on a continuous WhatsApp video call. She could not disconnect it. She was told not to disconnect it, and she complied. And then came the final ask, 3.8 crore rupees. The woman was asked to transfer this amount, 3.8 crores. She complied again. Only this time, the money was not returned.
Yes, sir, we are able to hear.
Okay, fine. Okay, because I was not able to hear.
We live in a
okay. Now, this is just to give an idea of what is this digital arrest, for which even Narendra Modi found it necessary to make a mention in Mann Ki Baat. Now, the other kind of things which we need to look for is that, and of course, we will discuss in the next session, what can we do against this this kind of cyber crimes, why it actually happens. How does a person believe that they have done some mistake? Because most of the time they say that, okay, you have sent a parcel, the parcel is having some drugs, and it has been caught by customs, and your Aadhaar was found, therefore case will be filed against you, kind of a thing. Or sometimes they will say that a parcel has been sent by courier, and that courier contains some contraband kind of things. Now, how does a person believe that kind of a charge and later on make payment to the extent of crores of rupees is an enigma for cyber psychologists. Many of you might have heard of something called blue whale game, which was prevalent sometime back, where people, particularly in that case children, were made to actually cause injuries to themselves, and some of them committed suicide because somebody was suggesting to them to actually cut their hand or something like that. That blue whale game indicated that there is a possibility that cyber users could be hypnotized through the cyber medium. And when I look at these digital arrest scams, where people have been cheated to the extent of crores of rupees, and these people believe that they are under digital arrest. They keep their video calls open. They don't consult other friends. There are cases where wife doesn't consult her husband for days together. They remain confined under what they believe is digital arrest without checking with the people around them. How does this happen? These are all sophisticated forms of cyber hypnotism at work. This is what I think the cyber psychologists need to study and find the reasons why people, because of the fear that their Aadhaar card is there in suspect list or something like that, they, out of that panic, they get themselves into a trance and go to the bank, withdraw the money and transfer it to the fraudster. So that was something which we need to look at how it can be avoided. Of course, now the awareness is better. TV ads are there, and after Modi's made a mention of it, some more people have realized it. Therefore, it may be on the decline. But still, say you look at other kind of enticing messages, like people who will say that a new app has been launched, join fast, and the early birds will get some extra money or something like that. There have been people who have been telling that in stock market, AI-led decisions, with that you can actually make lots of money. I think this Shreya Goyal or somebody's case also is somewhat like that. And they have sometimes created AI-based video interviews with people like Sudha Murthy and others who are heard saying in that interview that they tried this particular app, and when they invested in that app, they made lots of money. Therefore, others also should try. So, by combining a fake video along with a fake message and the regular frauds, people have been able to create a certain modus operandi for cheating the public. There are also advertisements about work from home kind of a thing, work for 2-3 hours a day, earn lots of money. In many of these cases, they use this as a bait. Like you must have heard that video fully. There was a point where it was mentioned that that old lady initially made a deposit of 15 lakhs, which was actually returned by the fraudster after a few days, as he had promised. Later on, she was asked to pay 3.9 crores, and that was also told that it would be returned, but it was never returned. It's like the normal pyramid scheme frauds, where something positive happens initially, but later on this money is withdrawn. Same stock market scams are also like that. Initially, of course, you will be having an account in which it will show as if your money, you invested 21,000 rupees, it has become 2 lakhs. But normally you won't withdraw the 2 lakhs. Instead of that, you put another 2 lakhs, so that will become 20 lakhs. But at the point of time when you have a crore of rupees and you want to withdraw, then you will find out that this whole game was a fraud. So that is the kind of sophisticated methods these people use in the cyber in committing the cyber crimes. these cyber criminals also are intelligent enough to move with the times. For example, this Nigerian frauds had so many other things, but today there has been in Delhi this fraud of helicopter booking. People going from, say, Bangalore, they have booked helicopters for Chardham Yatra, and when they landed in Delhi, they found out that there was no such company. Okay, so that kind of frauds have happened. I think the similar frauds happened even in the Prayagraj Kumbh Mela kind of a thing. People booked taxis and others from Delhi only to find that there was no such taxi company. Okay, and there is also something called sextortion, where people are falling prey to a enticing video call and then subsequently landing themselves in some kind of an extortion game. And people in Karnataka are very well aware that there is a big discussion going on in the political circles about honey trapping. And I think this has happened not only for politicians, but for many corporate executives in the past also. And this is what we sometimes call as sextortion, extortion using some sexual threatenings. Okay. Now, sometimes these kind of Nigerian frauds and other what we call as advance fee frauds, where you pay up the money first in expectation of something like a lottery or something like that, then finally you come to know that there is no such benefit, results in actually a bigger loss. This was actually a case in Bangalore of a housewife who had lost about 13, 14 lakhs, no, 45 lakhs, no, about 11 lakhs. And she had paid that 11 lakhs thinking that she had won a lottery of 45 lakhs. And afterwards she came to know, her family also came to know. In this particular case, the family actually supported this lady and said, don't worry, 11 lakhs has gone, but you don't have to feel guilty, forget it. But this lady could not actually accept the shame or guilty feeling, and she committed suicide. So there have been other cases where the society has brought pressure, and because of which the persons have committed suicide. There was a Salem girl who actually committed suicide because her morph pictures were circulated, including one set of pictures was sent to her parents, and her parents also did not trust her, and they thought maybe you have a boyfriend or something like that. And that girl committed suicide solely because she felt bad that her parents also did not trust her. This Bangalore case is another kind of a case where family trusted the lady, but still she had so much of feeling of guilt, because of which she committed suicide. What this indicates to us as elders in the society is that when such incidents happen, we must be careful to help the victims get over the feeling of guilt and shame, because they also would have realized at some point of time that they made a mistake, and at that time they need this support. And how you give the support, how you prevent them going into depression is something which elders need to look at. Now, here is another case which happened in Bangalore some time back. A person who was working in a company and earning lakh of rupees per month got an offer from UK saying that you will get 3 lakhs per month. Okay, we are talking of about 10 years back. So today 3 lakhs may not be high. This is 2010, as you can see. And this person got all documents, officially looking documents, work permit, visa, everything. And he promptly resigned from the local company job and was ready to move with his family and went to the airport at Bombay. But somehow he was lucky that by that time he had already spent about 3 lakhs. But when some more money was demanded, somehow he got the doubt, and from the airport he made some more inquiries, from which he was able to realize that he had been duped. And I presume that this person was also lucky because his employer was willing to take him back. But otherwise, I'm just giving this as an example of how the realistic looking documents are created, and sometimes even if you phone up somebody in the given address, you will get somebody to answer it promptly, saying that I am from the visa department or whatever is that. So the amount of care which we can exercise to check on this is very high, and many times we may not be able to do that. That is why we have come to a situation now that we can never trust the internet. Okay, even if you get a call from your relative saying that I need some urgent help, I need money, send me 500 rupees, not too much, 500 or 1000, and that goes to all your WhatsApp contacts, all your email contacts. Sometimes you may get a phone call. At the other end, your grandson may be crying, saying that he has been kidnapped and the kidnapper is asking some ransom. Or somebody may promise the moon. All these things are today cases where you need to exercise caution. That is why we have come to a situation where we can never trust the internet. What is there through email, what is there on a website, what is there on a Google search engine, Chat GPT, even the Wikipedia, you cannot trust. And everywhere you need to double check. Okay, I think it's already 8:25. I will take a few questions here before I think I will continue and then move in the next week with other aspects. Okay.
Yes, sir. We will continue. We will talk in the part 2 where we will be much more information on the how to prevent these kind of things. How we have to play a role where we will minimize the impact of these kind of cyber criminals. If there are any questions, please ask. Our president is there. I am eager to listen to him if there is any question.
Firstly, I must thank Vijayashankar sir. It is a very, very inspiring and very informative topic, and so many concepts we are not even aware, and we are very grateful to you. And you have correctly observed there are 2 E's in our program name, E Sambhashane. I request Mr. Vasudev to explain what it is, because I am very proud that I have a team who are very creative. Vasu, can you please explain?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. This was a wonderful session, and of course, this is a very big topic. This cyber law is a very big. It has become a very big thing in the society. As Naavi sir, respected Naavi sir, told, even our Prime Minister Modi ji had to, in one of the programs recently, about 4-5 months back, on his Mann Ki Baat, he did make about 10 minutes or 11 minutes, I can say, about the digital arrest and other kinds of frauds. Now, coming to the point which sir, our guest of honor today, raised, E Sambhashane. Andre, I will now also use some Kannada to convince sir. Sir, ನಮ್ಮ ಇಲಾಖೆಯಲ್ಲಿ we have started this Samprabha ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು big forum start ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, where we have brought in all associations right from the top level to the various associations, including sports and cultural association, and made a body, an umbrella, which is called as Samprabha. And we are having various kinds of programs. So one such idea was, which is mooted by our president, Shri Na sir, was that we will have a, just like a Doordarshan, on a particular topic, we'll have a webinar where there is an eminent speaker, some field domain expert, who will explain some concept, and later on people can interact with him like a Sambhashane, like to have a name. Because we are using ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದ ಮೂಲಕ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ ಅಂತ, ಈ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಅಂತ, ಈ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರೆಫರ್ಸ್ ಟು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ವಿ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟೆಡ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಈ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ ಅಂತ.
ಆಯ್ತು, it is double E ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ.
It is linked to the song
ಈ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ I know that. Okay, ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ನೇಹ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ. Okay. ನಾವು ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ನಾ ವಿಜಯಶಂಕರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಎನ್ ವಿಜಯಶಂಕರ್ ಅಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ನನ್ನ ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಹೆಸರು ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ನಡದೊಳಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆಯವರ ಹೆಸರು ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ ನಾಗರಾಜರಾವ್ ಅಂತ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾ ವಿಜಯಶಂಕರ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ ಬಂದಾಗ NAVI ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಜನ ಎಲ್ಲ ನವಿ ಅಂತ ಓದ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೊರತು ನಾವಿ ಅಂತ ಓದಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು NAAVI ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ತರ ನೀವು ಈ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ನಡನ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಡಬಲ್ ಇ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, ಕೇಳಿದೆ.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್. ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ ಈ ಸೈಬರ್ ಫ್ರಾಡ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಮಾಯಣ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಮಹಾಭಾರತ ಕಾಲದಿಂದನೂ ಗೌತಮ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಯನ್ನ ಫ್ರಾಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂದ್ರನ ಇಂಪರ್ಸನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ದ. ಅದೇ ತರ ರಾಮ ಸೀತೆನ ಚೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾರೀಚ ಫೇಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ದ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್
ಫೇಕ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಹೌದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇನ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ, ದಿಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ.
3 dimensional deep fake ಅದು.
Yes, exactly. Virtual reality. So with regard to that,
ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಆಗಿನ ಕಾಲದ ಕ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ಡೇಂಜರಸ್. ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್. It is very easy to do crime, and in the virtual world, boundaries, political boundaries or spaces have no respect. So that is the disadvantage of this virtual world. Anybody can make crime against others. So best way is to prevent from getting onslaught.
The virtual world is becoming metaverse world, and the virtual reality, augmented reality. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಏನಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆನೇ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಆಗ್ಮೆಂಟೆಡ್ ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಕನ್ನಡಕ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ. ದೇ ಗೆಟ್ ಇಮರ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟು ಎ ನ್ಯೂ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್. ಅದು ಗೇಮಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಶೋರ್ಟ್ ಫೈಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಹತ್ರ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೊಡೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಓದಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಲೆವೆಲ್ aspects which we are discussing. Anyway, let us see the augmented.
Sir, I also would like to mention that in the audience participants, we have also have very senior officers who have retired from the department at a very senior level. Apart from our own members, I am thankful to them. Any others, if they want to ask questions, I think we should give the chance.
5 minutes of. We can give them 5 minutes time.
You can raise your hands so that we can unmute, or yourself unmute and speak.
Yes.
ಹೇಳಿ.
ಸರ್, ನನಗೇನ್ ಅನಿಸ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದ ಮೋರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೋರ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ. ಸೊ ಇದೇನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನೊಂದು ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಒಂದು ಥಾಟ್ ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಓವರ್ ನೈಟ್ ರಿಚ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ, ಈಸಿ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮನಿ ಅಂತ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಆಸೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ದುರಾಸೆ ಅಂತ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಬಳಸಿ ಇಂತ ಅಪರಾಧಗಳು, ಕ್ರೈಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನನ್ಗನ್ಸ್ತು. ನಾನೊಂದು ಕೊಟೇಶನ್ ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಹಳ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್. ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಗ್ರೀಡ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಓವರ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೇನೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅದನ್ನ ಎನ್ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಅದೇನಂದ್ರೆ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸು, ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೀಡ್ ಓವರ್ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ನೀಡ್ ಪಲ್ಸ್ ಬ್ರೀಡ್ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್? ಆಸೆ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ಲೇಬೇಕು ಸರ್. ನಾನು
ಆಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ದುರಾಸೆ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು.
ಆದ್ರೆ ಆಸೆ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್, ಪೀಪಲ್, ನನ್ನ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೆಟ್ ದೆಮ್ ಅರ್ನ್ ದ ಮನಿ ಬಟ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಲೂಟ್ ದ ಮನಿ ಅಂತ. ಈಗೇನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಡಿ, ಲೂಟ್ ದ ಮನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ತಗೊಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಹಾನ್ ಚಾಣಾಕ್ಷ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೀಡ್ ಓವರ್ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ನೀಡ್ builds the breed.
Most of you have been in the financial field, alva correct? Financial GST. Now you got cryptocurrency ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, now bitcoins. Okay, there is no scope for bitcoins to exist in this world if you want to prevent cyber crime. See, cyber crime process ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ransomware ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟೋ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Okay, government is not willing to actually ban bitcoins. Okay, so actually we will discuss if possible in the next this thing of what needs to be done. There are a couple of things which need to be done.
I think Manimachangam sir wants to say something.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
To Narayan Swami and the speaker Naavi. He had explained a lot. I'm thankful, and all the participants should have understood the factors which you have mentioned. The only thing, next episode, I think you should give some preventive measures for the
I will straight away go into that. Yeah,
In fact, I am one of the victims of this.
I have been very critical of the government, saying that we will tax cryptocurrency, but not ban cryptocurrency. Okay, this was a policy of the government, which I was particularly not happy. You can, if you see Naavi.org, you will see there that government should not think of earning out of cryptocurrency transactions and say, I am getting GST, I am getting income tax, but they are all actually money laundering tools. Okay, so I hope that even after retirement, if you have any influence, try to make some changes.
I have already returned to the Home Ministry as well as state government to see that enforcement of prevention of cyber crime should be more strict, because they are very much satisfied only to recover part of the money lost. Thereafter, they don't investigate to the logical end, as we do in customs side. But police, they only be satisfied with part of the money recovered by blocking the accounts of the cyber crime people and recovering that part, maybe 10%, 20%, 30% of the money lost. Afterwards, police is not adopted. There are thousands of cases registered, FIRs are registered, but no follow-up action has been taken. I have returned to the Home Ministry, I have returned to the Home Ministry Minister here also, but there is no action. I don't know why. If they are preventing the people from doing such things, going to the logical end and arresting the people concerned, this will not get repeated. But unfortunately, the police is ineffective on this point. I kindly examine that aspect also.
Yeah, no, we will discuss it in the next program, and then maybe I will ask Kodandaram that your community should actually develop some recommendation or something which you can send to the finance ministry or something, so that some improvements can be brought in. Let us see.
What I have written, I will share with you, sir.
Yeah,
okay.
This problem we had addressed earlier, sir, but we will make a comprehensive reply under our leadership of our president. And send it as a representation. And I had written, I think in 1998, 99, inspired by you, in quest of a person, an article. So that search is still on. Hope we will be able to do it, sir. And we will make it happen, sir.
Good.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'm unnoting.
There another question, Olivia? Positive action should happen from this group, because it's a very influential group actually. So if possible, some positive action can be thought of. Okay.
Sir, we are very, very happy. I request my colleague Vasu, if there are nobody to ask questions, to make closing remarks and salute our speaker today.
Yes. Thank you, sir. I take over from our G Kodandaram, sir. It was wonderful, and so we are so thankful to Shri Naavi, sir, to spare his time and come on this platform, on this e-platform, and share his 35 years of knowledge on this field. He's a pioneer, because 1995, I think there was a very, very primitive stage of computers and electronic media. And nobody knew that it will go into such a, like a Gadot Gaja, it will grow into such a huge field, threatening the very livelihood and this one of people, this human race, because eternal vigilance, I can say only eternal vigilance there's a topic where eternal vigilance is of the price we pay for freedom. So that becomes 100% relevant as far as the electronic media, that is cyber media, frauds are concerned, cyber law. It's a huge topic, and I can really appreciate Sir has taken and condensed so many things, because Sir is such a huge knowledge base, and there are so many. This can spill out to 2-3 episodes. So I thank with my full this one on behalf of Samprabha and the president and all the participants in the department and other speakers also. And I also request other people who have who have participated today, Sambhashane, to involve more people so that this knowledge goes to others and awareness creates an awareness. We are very, very thankful, and we are eagerly looking forward to the subsequent episode where Sir is going to share some more knowledge. And also I would request on my side about ethical hacking, which Sir can make some mention in the next session. And I thank Sir on behalf of all the forum members and president. Thank you so much, Sir. Elrigo, all the people. Thank you, sir.
Sir, Guruಗಳಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್. Thank you. ಸರ್ವೇ ಜನಾಃ ಸುಖಿನೋ ಭವಂತು.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir.
Well, it is a very good session. And so, Ballari, how are the things? Not audible.
Sir, things are fine, sir.
Okay. We are still in Mysore. When we come back, we should have one online meeting.
Yes.
Maybe sometime. Okay.
So our first meeting has come out.
Thanks to Kodandaram and Vasu. Vasu, you should have sung that song, yeah? Sambhashane. I was expecting you.
Okay, sorry, sir. I will definitely do that. At least 2 lines I will sing next. I will make it a point. When we start the point, I will do it.
Nanamurthy ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಕೋಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಾಯ್ತು.
ಹೌದು. Sure, sir. ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಖಂಡಿತ ಸರ್. ಖಂಡಿತ.
ತುಂಬಾ ಒಳ್ಳೆದಾಯ್ತು ನೀವು ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆದದ್ದು ಜ್ಞಾನಮೂರ್ತಿ ಅವರೇ.
ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
Thank you. Ramurthy is also thanks to Ramurthy.
ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್.
He's a very eager young man.
Yes. Ever.
ಸೊ ತುಂಬಾ
ಈಶ್ವರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಈಶ್ವರ್ ಮುಖನೇ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರಲ್ಲ?
ಈಶ್ವರ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದಾರೆ ಸರ್, ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾರೆ ಸರ್.
It's a nice thing, and let us make it a little more interesting, and maybe we can ask them to keep the questions ready before even we announce it.
They can be ready.
In the circular itself, we can mention.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night, Bala.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.